You know, Elite Dangerous players, we wanted base building. When we asked about a new feature for the game, or when we were told that a new feature for the game was coming, base building was kind of the thing that went straight to the top of the list and was on the list, was people's kind of top pick for what they thought was coming. Me personally, I had asked for on-foot Thargoids, or at least some upgrades and more emphasis on, the on-foot combat system, which I really like. I'd also talked about atmospheres, some potentials for, improvements to the atmospheric systems, and especially with the Mandalay and the talks from Frontier about how the Mandalay is going to perform better in atmospheric environments and the like. Well, in typical Frontier fashion, they didn't give us any of that. Instead of base building, they decided, you know what? We're not going to let you build a base. We're going to let you colonize an entire star system. We are going to let you, the player, expand the bubble in a way you never imagined possible. Not only building one base, but building multiple bases, starports, and God knows what else, including establishing your own economy. Hello, everyone. Good evening, campers. Welcome aboard the Starship Nightwish. I'm Commander Exorcist, and this is Elite Dangerous's new system. We're going to get into it. System colonization. So we just finished an exceptional episode of FU, which is Frontier Unlocked, the monthly live stream from Frontier Developments that covers all of their intellectual properties, including Planet Zoo, Planet Coaster, and Elite Dangerous. We always go last, but that's because we're the biggest and best. And they want to leave. You want to save the best for last. And wow, this is really something. So we're going to be talking a lot of spoilers. If you haven't seen the live stream and you don't want to know what the new feature is, well, you kind of know at this point that it involves colonization and base building. But we're going to go into a little bit of the details. I'm going to kind of recap some of the things that they talked about. If you haven't had a chance to see the live stream, this might be kind of a condensed version of that. I'm going to be going off of some notes that we were provided by Frontier and trying to kind of answer a few questions that have maybe come up with some of my own, because I do have some concerns about this mechanic. And they have promised, they did mention that this is, kind of just the intro to the system that they're building. And so we don't exactly know how a lot of these mechanics are going to work. So we are going to have to be patient and kind of wait on them to flesh out the details a little more. But let's go ahead and let's jump into it, because the new mechanic in Elite Dangerous is called System Colonization. Like I said in my little intro, not base building. Hey, you don't get one little base or one little outpost. You get a whole star system. Like, you can colonize an entire system and take advantage of that system and its location and build your own economy. I mean, apparently, basically what it sounds like is that Frontier has taken whatever design tools they use to build the universe in Elite and are giving us kind of pseudo access to that through the mechanics of the game. So it's really, really something. And what this does is this shows that Frontier really wants to grow the universe in Elite Dangerous. They're not the static kind of bubble and design that we've been left with over the last few years, well, since the beginning, is done. This is the future of Elite. And the future of Elite, the lore, and the lore's kind of been established by Frontier, but there's so many parts of the lore for Elite that are shaped by the players. In this case, we get to shape the universe, and that's freaking cool. I'm really, I'm floored by this. I really am. So as your dedicated Elite Dangerous shill and hype man, we are going to get into some of the more key features of system colonization. Now, what you're seeing on your screen is a preview image that Frontier provided to the partners. This is an outpost that is a player installation, from what I can tell. And so little construction ships and things like that. So this would be something you can build, a starport under construction or something along those lines. So the galaxy is going to become our canvas. We can colonize systems, build orbital starports, and surface ports, it looks like. So it's, yeah, it's really quite exceptional. Um, so it did say that, so let's go through kind of let's go through some of the stuff that they said. So the way this will work is that you'll be able to colonize unpopulated systems. So you're not going into Achenar with your buddies and start building bases. Okay, this is to take advantage of the roughly 400 some billion stars that are out there that are not colonized. There's no infrastructure, and so a lot of these systems that are listed as anarchy and have no population but have nice resources and say maybe a great view, it's going to be an opportunity for us to go in and build our own starports. Excuse me. So yeah, there's a couple of questions about that. So distance is one of them. They did say they're going to talk a little bit about the distance, and these are not going to be cheap. Let's just get this out of the way. Like, fleet carriers are mega expensive. Yes, credits are flowing, but this seems to be a way to kind of keep up with the flow of credits. So for those of us that are sitting on 15, 20 billion worth of extra credits based on, this is something that's probably going to cost upwards of those levels. So I don't think you're going to be flying you're not going to be flying a Sidewinder doing small missions and being able to afford an orbital starport. I just don't see that. And it looks like there will be distance constraints, so they're going to talk about that a little bit more in the future about, and that would make sense because you would need to be able to bring resources to particular star systems. So you're not going to the center of the galaxy and picking a random star system when all your resources are in the bubble. There's got to be infrastructure established. Now, we'll talk a little bit about this in a minute. But once you have your star system, you establish kind of a central hub, like a starport that's your main control center. And then you have choices to expand. They said that you can put facilities and settlements and other stations in the system. I mean, this is forget building your own home station, build your own home star system. If you want an industrial set here or maybe a tourist attraction here, I mean, this is a golden opportunity for us to build our own kind of like stellar utopias among the unpopulated systems. So it's really freaking cool. One of the things they talked about was you can have more than one star system, and an example they used is that you could kind of daisy chain your system. So as long as you're able to manage the resources in the economy and effectively, in theory, you could build a collection of inhabited star systems that stretch out to Colonia, to other regions of the galaxy. So, and this is going to be interesting to see because somebody's going to do that. There's going to be some kind of initiative to build populated systems and all this other stuff, a daisy chain out to Colonia or out to the core. So we know that's coming. And so it's just really, there's a lot of questions that I have about this. So let's go forward here. There you go. You've got a shot of a Mandy coming up on further completed star base. And so you'll have that primary starport. And there were some questions. They talked about Powerplay 2.0, which debuts tomorrow or at least that's the plan. So each system has a value based on how you go about colonizing it. And it looks like Powerplay 2.0 is designed to work in tandem with this system. And so obviously you can't go in and take over like the colonized systems, but a lot of these newer systems that you'll be able to build, it looks like there will be mechanics for us to include Powerplay 2.0 features along with that, and that's really cool. And it's kind of funny. It makes sense now that you have the Mandalay, which has got some pretty impressive jump range for such a small ship right out of the bag. And the issue, and what that does is it shows that I think Frontier's really trying to open up the galaxy. They want to take advantage of all that space because we've kind of been confined to this little bitty area, and there's so much out there that we have not seen, and there's so much of this sandbox that has opportunities for us to build and grow and design and kind of shape, how we do things. So that's really cool. And yeah, there's another shot of kind of the the station as it's progressing and different things. You've got some docking capabilities at that point. So it's base building, but it's on a scale that I did not expect. Oh my God. We don't know much about it other than the fact that it's coming, and there will be opportunities for commanders to build their own stellar utopia. Like I said, have your own star system. So that's freaking cool. One of the things they did show us is this, and it's really it's a really kind of mixed up mesh of fleet carrier assets thrown together. But this is a colonization ship. So you're going to have, this will be a ship that I'm guessing that you would purchase that would be necessary. And a lot of sci-fi games, and like I said, they haven't really gone into the details of this, but a lot of sci-fi games, when you do colonization, you'll start with a colony ship that gets deconstructed and turned into kind of your central hub or your central control point. Maybe I could see the colony ship being designed to be taken apart and become a starport over time. So that is something that I'm looking forward to. The issues that I have, and I'm really excited about this. Don't take me wrong. The biggest problem that I have, and I was talking to some folks about this when we were discussing the concept of base building. Is it first come first serve like it is with discoveries on tagging on star systems? What happens if I as a player want a star system that somebody else has already colonized? We're not talking about NPCs and developer-generated assets at this point. We're talking about another player, and even today, if I was to get some friends together and we work the BGS together, we can take over star systems and control those as part of a faction. I'd like to see how that's going to work with this, because what if I don't like my neighbor and I want his stuff? Can I take his stuff? And can he take mine? And so do I have to worry about potentially people doing underhanded things to take my star system from me? And, so this adds some really interesting mechanics over time. And so it's something I really want to hear more. I like the idea of the player interaction with the environment, the building, the designing, the economy management. That's fine. What I want to know is about the player interaction. What kind of effect is this going to have on my gameplay? Am I going to be able to build my own kind of explorer's paradise without worrying about some ganker coming around and slowly whittling away at the work that I've done? Fleet carriers are invincible, so that's a possibility. Maybe it could be once you get your star system, that's it, it's safe. But, I don't know. It's really kind of strange. I mean, I get that it's elite and first come, first serve, but, what if you have more people fighting over a particular system for resources and view or whatever else? So I'm really curious to hear about the player interaction aspect of it. And that's going to be it. There wasn't much given, just kind of really the feature, because this is the feature reveal. We'll talk a little bit more about system colonization and the mechanics of that as we get more of it. Now, let's move into the fourth and final ship. Well, we think it's the final ship to be revealed this year. And when I saw it, I can understand why they waited until the last time for the last position to show this ship, because this is the Cobra Mk V. Now, granted, this is concept art, and it looks nice. It's a very nice looking ship, but it's a Cobra. And I'm not a fan of the Cobra. I like, the design is okay. I get that it's the iconic elite ship, and this is elite, but the Cobra Mk V is here or coming. So and kind of the point where so you had a combat ship with the Python. We had our trader ship with the Type 8. The Mandalay is the explorer's dream, and then you have this is the multi-role. And so when you look at this is the one that in theory you can throw the right combination of modules into it and get it to do just about anything. And so here we have the Cobra Mark V. And it's, it makes sense. They are coming up on the 10th anniversary. This is the 10th anniversary of Elite. And so, of Elite Dangerous. And so, this is really the point where they'd kind of want to visit more of an iconic ship. It's a medium-sized ship. It's a little bit larger than the Mark III, but it is a medium-sized ship. So, I mean, I think that means all of them that we've gotten this year were we didn't get a large, we didn't get a small one. They're all medium. So, that's kind of the balance. They wanted us to be able to have, like a greater diversity of capabilities with these ships. One of the things they talked about is the design, and not a lot of really emphasis on the performance of this thing, and I think that's going to be the selling point later on when we take a look at it. When you look at the new ships we've got, Python, the Mandalay, and the Type 8, is how does this stand up against what we've already received? Is it going to be worth it? It's a nice little ship. I think I'll fly one just for fun, but is it going to offer me something that the other ships don't offer? They went back and looked at the old school wire frames from Elite and kind of took the design from that. And so it's excuse me. Their words were, if David Braben had more polygons to work with, this is kind of what they would have come up with. And so this is the Python Mark V, which is, it's an attractive ship. I like it. It's just going to be a little. It's there. It's there. I think that given the awesomeness and the utility of what we've already been given with the other three, this one personally, it doesn't really do it for me. They did talk a little bit about the cockpit, and there's no media shared at the moment for the cockpit view, which is typical for these ship reviews. We'll probably get that in the next one, or maybe even sooner if they decide to release it or throw it out there. They changed. They did fix the seating, so the cockpit, the seat is now in the center instead of being off center. I know that's been like a point of contention, and that's the thing about players like in Elite Dangerous is we worry about things like that. When the seat is off center, it bothers us. When the wiring harnesses are hanging from the ceiling by little clamps, it's 3310. Why are we doing that? Seriously, I'm still going to keep harping on that. Lakon. And let's take a look here. This is the last kind of image I'm going to share of the ship. It's an attractive ship. It really is. And this is one of those ships that's going to get like 1 billion paint jobs. All right, it's going to get like a flag paint job for every country out there. And it's the cockpit though, the glass. Looking at it, that design, it does look like it has a pretty impressive view. So, it was as a medium ship, it may have some pretty good utility for scouting planets and looking for like biologics and things like that. Of course, somebody's going to take it out there and shoot some Thargoids with it. That'll happen. It kind of always does. And I guess you could say that would be like kind of a real homage to the OG Elite, the shooting modern Thargoids in a Cobra Mark V, honoring the 10th anniversary of Elite by looking back on the past with Elite Dangerous, by looking on the past with Elite. So, and my friends, that is all they wrote. So we got a lot. This was really cool. This was good information. We are going to be colonizing the stars in Elite Dangerous. The bubble is no longer static, and the universe, legit, is what we make it. We also got a Cobra. These are the disciples. Hey, folks, if you would like to support the work that I do on this channel, patreon.com/Commander Exorcist, your support would be greatly appreciated. And that's going to be it for today's video, talking about the Frontier Unlocked live stream. This is a big deal. like, Elite Dangerous is the game that is more likely to kill your YouTube channel than it is to kill itself. It just keeps going. And when it comes to something like this is really an indicator that the developers and the people who are charged with taking care of Elite Dangerous want it to grow. And so they want to see us expand on the canvas they provided for us and see what we can do with it. And if I know this community, we're going to do some very, very insane things with it. So I can't wait to see what happens. Hey, everybody, thanks for hanging out with me. I'm Commander Exorcist. Take care, fly safe, and I will see you out there. Good night, everybody.